Hi everyone, it's Dr. Liza Long, and in this quick video, I'm going to show you an amazing cool new feature I discovered today and shared with my English to 11 literary analysis class. Did you know that there's a new tool from Google called NotebookLM that can actually create a podcast from a textbook chapter, a syllabus, really any document that you give it? All right, let's buckle up and take a look at this brave new world and hope that AI is not coming for my job. So, you should see, let's see, you should be seeing my screen now. And so this is my textbook that I created with ChatGPT 3.5. It's called Critical Worlds, and it's what I use to teach my literary analysis course. It's an open education resource. So what I did today was I linked to this chapter. I just copied and pasted this link here into to Google's Notebook LM. I'll show you how that works in a minute. But first, just take a listen. This is the chapter on deconstruction.
Ever get that feeling like there's got to be more to this, right? Like even the simplest things have hidden depths.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what today's deep dive is all about, unlocking those depths
Okay.
through the lens of deconstruction.
All right.
Now, before you go picturing like dusty old books and those ivory towers,
Yeah.
our source material and online chapter, very accessible, called What is Deconstruction,
Right.
actually makes it surprisingly approachable. I was kind of surprised how straightforward it was.
It's a common misconception I find that deconstruction is about
Yeah.
tearing things down, kind of saying like there's no meaning. Haha, gotcha.
Right, right.
It's actually kind of the opposite.
Okay.
It's more a way to understand how meaning is built in the first place,
Uh-huh.
and then from there how it can be, you know, deconstructed.
So less.
I mean, wow, right? Like that was fun. I demoed this for my class and they were all pretty excited. So let me show you really quickly how I got to this point. It was my very first day using this tool. It was really easy. So all of this is linked in my Substack article, all the links you need. This is the link to Notebook LM. So when you go in, you're creating a new notebook, and I created one for Critical Worlds Deconstruction. All I did was just with the source, just linked to that chapter. I just copied and pasted the link in, and then that created the briefing doc for it. And so with this notebook guide, then you can see what I've done. It provides a quick summary of the textbook right here, suggests some questions. Here's the podcast that I just started playing for you. You will download it as a WAV file, which isn't my favorite, but that's not terrible, right? So just download it as a WAV file. And then the next step would be if you're working with Pressbooks like I was to get it embedded, you'll need to go to a converter. I just used Cloud Convert. Just go ahead and upload the WAV file, ask it to convert. You can just choose from WAV to MP3, and boom, it'll take care of it for you. Then you download the MP3 file, go into Pressbooks, and you just add that file, the MP3 file that you just saved, to the media library. So in your media library, you can add images, of course, and um, you can also add MP3 files. So you could just add media right here. When you click on that, you can see that I've uploaded the Critical Worlds Deconstruction, and there we go. We've got our podcast added to the chapter. Now, this doesn't replace the chapter. It's not like an audiobook version of the chapter, to be clear. What it does do, though, is it discusses the content of the chapter in a kind of accessible way. So if students are struggling with deconstruction, which is pretty common, it's a hard critical lens, this can help students to make it more accessible, right? And kind of review the chapter and help them understand what they're doing. And it's just kind of a fun little tool. My students thought it was really cool. So I wanted to share that with you today. Not very challenging to use at all. Then the other thing I wanted to show you that I did, so I also created, back in this notebook guide, I created a briefing doc right here. And I just copied the information from the briefing doc. So this just covers basically the main points of the chapter. I took that and copied it. I brought it over to another fun tool I've been playing with, Gamma.app. And Gamma creates cool looking presentations. And so this is what, from that briefing doc that Notebook LLM made, I was able to create this fun presentation. I honestly I haven't had a chance to fact check any of this stuff. So you would always want to fact check. I just thought it was cool and wanted to get it out there so you can kind of see how it works. But the next step would be to double check and make sure everything's good. I did listen to the podcast and I'm good with the podcast, but I haven't had a chance to check this yet. I can also download this, and so I could present it. It's linked right now in that chapter, or I can share it and I can export it to a PowerPoint file, and then I've got a PowerPoint for my class. And all of that, with existing source material, it took under 10 minutes to have all of that, all of those ancillary materials put together. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Just some fun new tips and tricks and toys that scare me a little, to be honest, but it's also really a fun way to make learning more accessible. And I plan on sharing both of these tools with my students in my English 102 class. They have to do a multimodal project, and I think we might be able to have some fun with these tools. So it is a golden age for content creators. And as I'm always telling my students, English is the hottest new programming language. All right, happy prompting. Thanks, everyone.